Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a rhinoceros. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. To draw the circle, make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then just connect the marks using curved lines to create the rest of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having a hard time drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a coin or a bottle cap or anything else with a circular edge. To the right, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. This circle should be slightly smaller than the first circle. So as you make the 4 marks for this circle, draw the bottom mark slightly higher than the first circle. Don't place this circle too far off to the right, otherwise the body will be too long. To the left of the first circle, draw a smaller circle as a guide for the top part of the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too and place it very close to the first circle. The head circle should be about 1/4 the size of the first circle. Far down below the head circle, make a small mark for the first part of the guide for the muzzle. And then just connect the mark to the head using curved lines to create the guide for the muzzle. You should end up with a big arc-like shape that's similar to a tilted letter U. The overall shape of the head should be similar to a big oval. Across the length of the head, draw a long vertical line. This is a construction guide that will help you place the facial features later on. Now across the middle part of the head, draw a shorter horizontal line for another construction guide. Place the horizontal line slightly below the head circle. On the left side of the muzzle, draw a big triangular shape as a guide for the first horn. Above that, draw a smaller triangular shape as a guide for the second horn. You can make the bottom horn longer if you want, but keep the top horn short. On top of the head, draw 2 small arcs as guides for the ears. Make the arc on the left a little bit thinner. Connect the head to the body using 2 curved lines. The line on the bottom should be shorter. And then connect the first 2 circles using 2 longer lines to complete the guide for the torso. Under the first circle, draw 2 long vertical lines as guides for the front legs. Curve the line slightly to the left at the bottom. Pay attention to the length of these lines in relation to the body. Rhino's legs are actually pretty long, they're not as short as hippo's legs. Under the circle on the right, draw 2 long angled lines as guides for the hind legs. Pay attention to how these legs bend, this will indicate the joints later on. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, near the middle, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Use the initial construction lines and the bottom edge of the circle as guides for the placement and the size of the eye. When you get the placement and the size of the eye right, draw a long dark line at the top for the eyelashes. Darken the rest of the shape but make it longer and pointier on the sides. Above and below the eye, draw small curved lines for the eyelid and a wrinkle. Inside the eye, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. And then shade the inside of the eye, but don't overlap the tiny highlight circle. Use a darker value in the middle of the eye for the pupil. To get a darker value, just push slightly harder on your pencil. Add a few more small curved lines around the eye for more wrinkles. Rhinos are pretty wrinkly, so add quite a few of these lines. Now use the initial U-shaped line as a guide to draw the muzzle. Lightly sketch the curved line along the bottom part of the arc for the first part of the muzzle. When you get the shape of the muzzle right, darken the lines, and add more lines at the top for more wrinkles. The shape of the muzzle should extend farther down than the initial guide. Curve the line for the muzzle upward to create the mouth. On the right side of the mouth, draw a smaller curved line for the lower lip. Near the tip of the muzzle, draw a short curved line for the first part of the nostril, then add another curved line on the right to complete the shape and shade the inside. Add a few small curved lines around the nostril to give it more structure and for more wrinkles. Darken the big triangular shape on the left side for the first horn. Remember that you can make this horn bigger if you'd like. Darken the small triangular shape at the top for the second horn. The shape of the two horns are made up of one long continuous line. Extend the line for the top part of the small horn inward toward the head. Darken the arc on the top right side of the head for the first ear. At the top of the arc, draw a series of short strokes for a bit of hair, and make the shape slightly thinner than the arc. At the bottom, draw a series of short curved lines for the wrinkly base of the ear. Inside the shape, draw longer curved lines for the ear's opening. Now use the arc on the left side as a guide to draw the other ear the same way. Darken the arc but make the shape a little bit thinner. At the top, draw short strokes for the hair. Inside the shape, draw a long wavy line for the ear's opening. Now draw a long wavy line from the ear on the left to the small horn at the bottom to create the top of the head. Notice how the line for the top of the head curves inward at the bottom. Now use the lines at the bottom as guides to draw the bottom half of the head. Draw a series of short curved lines along the path of the guide to create the wrinkly bottom half of the head. Use the vertical line that's under the body on the left side as a guide to draw the first front leg. Start by lightly sketching the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg wide and then gradually make it more narrow in the middle and then make it wide again at the bottom for the foot. Follow the curvature of the initial guideline as you draw the shape of the leg. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Add a curved horizontal line at the top for a skin fold. Use shorter curved lines as you darken the shape to give the leg more muscle structure. Draw a couple of short strokes on the top right side for wrinkles. The middle part of the leg should slightly curve to the left. Make the foot at the bottom wide and flat. Inside the foot, on the left side, draw two small arcs for the nails. Add a couple more short lines at the top for wrinkles. Use the line to the right as a guide to draw the other front leg the same way. Lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. The front part of this leg is blocked by the first front leg, so don't draw that side. Curve the lower half of this line to create the joint and the wide foot at the bottom. When you get the shape right, darken the line. And now use the long angled line on the far right side as a guide to draw the first hind leg. The top part of this hind leg should extend far inside the body. And just like before, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Follow the curvature of the initial guide to create the joints on the leg. Make the top part of the leg wide and the middle part skinny. The area right above the foot should be skinny and the foot should be wide. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. At the bottom of the foot, draw two small arcs for the nails. Pay attention to how the right edge of the leg curves to create the joint. Draw the other hind leg around the guideline on the left. The right edge of this leg is hidden behind the first hind leg, so only draw the front part. Don't forget to add the small arcs at the bottom for the nails. Use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the initial guides to create the shape of the body. Add curved lines along the top edge of the body for more structure. Draw a long vertical line on the right side for the tail. At the bottom of the tail, draw a series of short strokes for the brush-like tip. Curve the line at the bottom for the big belly. Draw a series of long curved vertical lines between the head and the front leg for the folds of skin on the neck. Add a few curved lines near the underside of the body for more skin folds. Add some near the top part of the hind leg as well. And now erase as much as you can of the initial guides for a cleaner drawing. The next few steps are sped up so that the video won't be too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guides, it's okay to leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. And now just shade your drawing. Rhinos don't have any pattern on their skin like spots or stripes, so they're pretty easy to shade. Just use a medium value all over the body. Don't worry if your shading isn't perfectly smooth. Rhinos have a rough skin, so rough shading gives the skin more texture. Instead, focus on using an even tone all over the body. Shade very lightly at first and gradually build up to a medium value. To shade lightly, push very softly on your pencil, then gradually push harder for darker tones. Shading can be time consuming, so be patient and take breaks. Add a darker value all over to give the body some shadows. Shadows will give the figure more volume so that it looks more three-dimensional. Pick the light source as you shade so that the shadows are consistent. Here the light source is coming from above, so most of the shadows will be on the underside of the body and on the legs. Remember to shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. It's a good idea to use reference as you shade for a more accurate depiction of a rhino. Use an extra dark value for the inside of the ears, around the folds of skin, and for the legs that are on the other side of the body. Draw a shadow at the bottom using a medium value. This grounds the rhino so that it doesn't appear to be floating. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the rhino. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. And please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how and then the number 2 and then drawanimals.com. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.